Britney Spears has a lot to say. Not a lot of people wanted to listen, but now because of Diddy, they're listening. We got to talk about something very important that I don't know if you guys know about. So before we get into that, I want to introduce myself. My name is Sebastian. I spill pop culture tea videos every day. I got you covered everything from Diddy to the Kardashians to Britney to the Biebers. You name it, I'm covering it. Yesterday, we got to 81K. Thank you guys so much for your love, your support, your kindness. I do not take it for granted. Everyone that is subscribing, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. You know, I've been doing this for 9 years, girl. So I'm just so grateful to be here and to be able to spill tea with you guys and build a really cool community. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And let's get into this. So listen, I did a video on Britney and her Video Music Awards performance that allegedly people are now connecting with Diddy, saying that he allegedly sabotaged it. But I noticed one common theme in the comment section is a lot of people don't really know what happened to Britney. Now, I wanted to kind of fill you guys in one part of what happened to her, one of the hardest, most traumatic parts in Britney's life. And it's very funny that now people are kind of connecting Diddy and Britney. It's true, Britney was partying with Diddy the night before the Video Music Awards. It's also true that they shared the same management, Lou Taylor TriStar, which obviously it's said to be believed that allegedly Lou Taylor's the one who started the conservatorship. So there's a lot of ties, but there's something that is true. Britney has gone through a lot of horrible, traumatic situations that a lot of people that maybe aren't fans don't really know about. So I wanted to go back with you guys to 2000 and I believe it's 2016. No, this was 2018, I believe. 2018, when Britney Spears was set to embark on her second residency called Domination. And she refused to do a dance move in her rehearsals, and quickly the next couple days she was sent off. This was already, years in her conservatorship. This is just one part of her story. There's so much more to talk about, but I wanted to read you guys some of the awful things that she has been through so you guys can understand. But make sure you go get this book because there are so much things in here that it will blow your mind, everything that Britney Spears has gone through. And mind you, Britney Spears sold Brittany Murphy the house, which Brittany Murphy later passed away in. And Ashton Kutcher was dating Brittany Murphy before that. Ashton Kutcher's really good friends with Diddy. There's a lot of connections being said. We're going to do a separate video on this, but right now I just really wanted to kind of fill you guys in a little bit of what Britney went through. There's a very important thing that you guys have to know is that this Domination tour, the rehearsals looked amazing. I mean, it looked like Britney Spears was, back, if you will. But Britney Spears explains a lot of things in here. But a lot of people were excited about this Domination residency because it seemed like Britney was in full control, but little did we know. So she talks about how she was in rehearsals, okay? And she did not feel comfortable with one of the dance moves. So that's what I'm gonna read to you guys. Okay. The Vegas show hadn't been canceled yet. I was hiring new dancers and going over the routines. At a rehearsal one day, I'd been working with all the dancers, both new and old, when one of the dancers who'd been with the show the past 4 years did a move for us all. I winced when I saw it. It looked really challenging. I don't want to do that one, I said. It's too hard. It didn't seem like a big deal to me, but suddenly my team and the directors disappeared into a room and shut the door. I got the feeling that I had done something horribly wrong, but I didn't understand how not wanting to do one move in a routine could qualify as that. I mean, I was almost 5 years older than I had been when the first residency started. My body had changed too. What difference did it make if we changed it up? We'd all been having fun from what I could tell. I have social anxiety, so if there's anything to feel uncomfortable about, I usually feel it first. But that day we all seemed well. I was laughing and talking to the dancers. Some of the new ones could do gainers, meaning a standing back truck going forward. They were amazing. I asked if I could learn it, and one of them offered a spot to spot me on it. All of which is to say we were planning and communicating. Nothing was going wrong, but the way my team had behaved made me worried something was up. A day later in therapy, my doctor confronted me. "We found energy supplements in your purse," he said. "The energy supplements gave me a sense of confidence and energy, and you didn't need a prescription for them." He knew that. I had been taking them during my shows in Vegas, but now he made a big deal out of it. Quote, "We feel like you're doing way worse things behind our backs," he said, "and we don't feel like you're doing well in rehearsals. You're giving everyone a hard time." "Is this a joke?" I said. Instantly, I was furious. I had tried so hard. My work ethic was strong. "We're going to be sending you to a facility," the therapist said, "and before you go to this place over Christmas break, we're going to have a woman come to run psychological test on you." A flashy doctor who I'd seen on TV and instantly hated came to my house against my will, sat me down, and tested my cognitive abilities for hours. My father told me that this doctor had concluded that I'd bombed the test. "She said you failed. Now you have to go to the mental health facility. There's something severely wrong with you, but don't worry. We found a small rehab program in Beverly Hills. It will only cost you $60,000 a month." As I gathered my stuff crying, I asked how long I should pack for, how long they'd make me stay there. But I was told that there was no way to know. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. It all depends on how well you do and how well you demonstrate your capabilities. The program was supposedly a luxury rehab that had created a special program for me, so I'd be alone and wouldn't have to interact with other people. "What if I don't go?" I asked. My father said, "If you don't go, then I'd have to go to court and I'd be embarrassed," he said. "We will make you look like a fucking idiot, and trust me, you will not win. It's better me telling you to go versus a judge in court telling you." I felt like it was a form of blackmail, and I was being gaslit. I honestly felt they were trying to kill me. I had never stood up to my dad in all those years. I had never said no to anyone. My no in that room that day really pissed my dad off. They forced me to go. They had my back against the wall, and I had no choice. "If you don't do this, this is what is going to happen to you. So we suggest you go, get it over with." Only that didn't happen. Getting it over with, that is, because once I got there, I couldn't leave. Even though I kept begging to, they kept me locked up against my will for months. The doctors took me away from my kids and my dogs and my house. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't drive a car. I had to give blood weekly. I couldn't take a bath in private. I couldn't shut the door to my room. I was watched. Even when I was changing, I had to go to sleep at 9 p.m. They supervised me watching TV from 8 to 9 o'clock in bed. I had to be up every morning at 8. I had endless meetings every day. For several hours a day, I sat in a chair receiving mandatory therapy. I spent the time in between meetings staring out the window, watching cars pull up and drive away. So many cars bringing so many therapists and security guards, doctors, and nurses. What I think did the most damage to me was watching all those people coming and going while I was prevented from leaving. I was told that everything that was happening was for my own good, but I felt abandoned in that place. And while everyone kept saying they were there to help, I never could understand what my family wanted from me. I did everything I was supposed to do. My kids would come for an hour on the weekends, but if I didn't do what I was supposed to do during the week, I wouldn't be allowed to see them. For years, I'd been on Prozac, but in the hospital, they took me abruptly off of it and put me on lithium, a dangerous drug that I did not want or need, and that makes you extremely slow and lethargic. I felt my concept of time morph and I grew disoriented on lithium. I didn't know where I was or even who I was sometimes. My brain wasn't working the way it used to. It wasn't lost on me that lithium was the drug my grandmother, Jean, who later committed suicide, had been put on in Mandeville. Meanwhile, my security team that I'd been with for so long acted like I was a criminal. When it was time for blood draws, the tech drawing my blood would be flanked by the nurse, a security guard, and my assistant. Was I cannibal? Was I a bank robber? Was I a wild animal? Why was I treated as though I were about to burn the place down and murder them all? They check my blood pressure 3 times a day like I was an 80-year-old woman, and they take their time, make me sit down, get the cuff, slowly attach it, slowly pump it up 3 times a day to feel sane. I needed to move around. Movement was my life as a dancer. I thrived on it. I needed it, I craved it, but they kept me in the chair for ages. I began to feel like I was being ritually tortured. I felt anxious in my feet and in my heart and in my brain. I could never burn off that energy. After the Free Britney movement started, these were a very sorry attempt of like a publicity thing for her team to make sure that the world knows that she's safe and she's okay, because so many people were so concerned. But these pictures just show such a lost and disoriented Britney, and this did not help their case at all. After these images went viral, the Free Britney movement went into overdrive. Listen, that is just a little taste of what Britney Spears went through. I highly suggest you get this book because you will never believe everything Britney Spears says. I mean, it's so crazy to me that Britney Spears, who is Britney Spears, right? You would think this would never be able to happen, but it did. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have any sympathy for Britney, that don't understand what Britney went through. This is just a little piece of her story. So I wanted to read you guys this because just that part, because I think it's important for you guys to know how Britney Spears was treated and why it was so important for her to be freed from this conservatorship. It all started, according to Britney in this book, because she did not want to do one dance move. And look at everything that she had to go through because of it. I think that there is so much more to the story. I think that there's so much more that needs to be said. There's so much more that Britney, hopefully in the biopic, can talk about. I love Britney so much, as you guys can probably tell. And I really just wanted to read you guys a little bit of her one of the most traumatic times that she went through when she was locked away for those months. And that's actually when the Free Britney thing started, because we hadn't seen Britney for a very long time. And it was said that that she had to cancel the Domination residency because her father was sick, but it was all lies. It was because she was locked up. So that's a little taste of what Miss Britney Spears went through. Now that there is a lot of Britney news in the news because of Diddy, I wanted you guys to have a little more knowledge on what Britney actually went through. So I love you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this little story time. Britney, we love you. If you guys didn't know about Britney before and everything she went through, I know you're probably in shock right now, but she went through that and a lot worse. So Britney is very strong, and I think if you ever read the book or you listen to it on Spotify, I think that you will have a different image on Britney. So I love you all so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah. Bye.